हेलो एवरीवन, इस वीडियो में ना हम आपको एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग इंडिविजुअल से मिलाने वाले। इनके पास अपना ही एक प्लेन है। ही इज बीन अ पायलट विद सम ऑफ द लीडिंग एयरलाइंस इन इंडिया इन द पास्ट, और अब इनके पास अपने इनका एक एयरक्राफ्ट है और फ्लाई बॉय एविएशन के ये फाउंडर हैं। एंड वी गोइंग टू आस्क हिम अबाउट द फ्यूचर ऑफ एविएशन और पर्सनल एयरक्राफ्ट्स के बारे में। इनसे हम बहुत सवाल करने वाले हैं। एयरक्राफ्ट्स के अंदर किस टाइप की टेक्नोलॉजी होती है और इनका एयरक्राफ्ट कैसा है, हर चीज के बारे में पूछेंगे। आई एम गोइंग टू टेल यू एवरीथिंग इन दिस वीडियो। इफ यू कैन टेल मी, सबसे पहले वरुण, what exactly is it that I know you're the founder of Flyboy Aviation? इसके अलावा, like, what does Flyboy Aviation do, and what all are you doing exactly?
Flyboy is one of the businesses that we have,
Right.
and that was my first entrepreneurial stint. That is the smallest aircraft you can have, powered aircraft.
Okay.
So
Smallest, by smallest, what's the seating capacity of the smallest? Okay.
One.
Perfect.
Okay. One without even wheels. So you just wear it on your back and you can just walk off and fly.
Okay.
So those machines, they require a bit of skill, and there is no regulatory requirement. You don't have to take a permit or something to use one of those machines.
Right.
But they fly very slow, around say 60 kilometers an hour. You cannot go anywhere.
What's the height that it can take?
As high as you can reach, say 10,000 feet, it can go up to that height. But usually when the aircrafts are smaller, people prefer to stay lower. They don't want to fly higher because it just feels scarier. Eventually, we had to graduate to something like this. In fact, I did my flying in US. So in US, owning a plane is not a big deal.
Right.
Okay. A lot of people own planes and they just fly to work, for vacation. A personal aircraft, when you have to go say 500 kilometers, 600 kilometers, you would usually use a piston engine aircraft because their operating cost is really low. They're very easy to learn how to fly.
Right.
They're fairly reliable,
Right.
and very low cost of ownership. Okay. Sometimes the brand we sell is cheaper to own and maintain than a luxury car.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just tell me, a lot of questions
Yeah.
popping up in my mind. Like when you say a piston engine aircraft, that's
Yeah.
easy to handle. It's probably lesser to it costs lesser to maintain this sort of an aircraft than as compared to a luxury car. Like, what is a piston engine aircraft? How much does it cost? And what does one need to be able to fly one? Where is it parked? Where do you keep it? Where do you take off from? All of that. You can take it up.
Sure. So basically, piston engine aircraft means the aircraft has a piston engine, which is usually the one you find in your car.
Okay.
Similar to that. But an engine which has more credibility, an engine which has more reliability,
Right.
and which is certified for a certain period of time, say 2,000 hours. So it's certified that the life of the engine is 2,000 hours, and for 2,000 hours, usually it will go good without needing any major maintenance other than changing the oil and things like that.
Right.
Okay. Piston engines usually work on aviation gasoline.
Right.
That's called avgas. But aviation gasoline is very rare in India. But the fleet that we sell, that uses the same petrol that goes in the car. Okay.
Okay.
So these are advanced aircraft with advanced engines, modern engines that burn the same petrol that you use in the car.
Right.
We have recently launched a new aircraft in India and the world. The company we broke up the dealer for that runs on diesel or jet.
Technam is what?
Yeah, from Tech.
Right.
Technam. So Technam is basically one of the world's largest small aircraft manufacturer.
Right.
And one of the few that has so many models to offer.
Okay.
So a piston engine aircraft, you can go from 2-seater up to a 9-seater.
Okay.
So that would cover something like a personal travel up to a business travel.
Okay.
Or a large family. Yeah. And a 2-seater would go for around 1.8 crores, 1.9 crores, plus whatever taxes are there.
Right.
A 4-seater will sell around 3.2 crores for a single engine. Then we also have something called as a multi-engine. That is more than one engine on the aircraft
Right.
for added safety. Suppose you lose one engine, you have another one.
Right.
Okay. It doesn't mean the other one comes on after the first one fails. Both of them operate at the same time. If one fails, the other is good enough to get you safely to wherever you move on. Like an Airbus or a Boeing, they have two engines. You can have a twin engine piston aircraft also. So also twin engines are a little faster.
Right.
They're slightly more expensive to operate, but obviously somebody who has money would be willing to pay that extra bit as cheap insurance.
Right.
Right. So a 4-seater twin will cost you about 4.8 crores plus taxes, and a 9-seater costs about 25 crores plus taxes.
So where do you park them? Like once you bought a aircraft for yourself?
That's a good question. So most of the airports in India are owned by Airport Authority.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have a parking structure, a fee mostly for non-metro airports. I think it's 2.5 rupees an hour, the parking charge for this kind of aircraft.
Okay.
So parking is really not an issue,
2.5 rupees an hour.
Yeah. So for a day, it'll be like $50 or $60.
That's cheaper than parking in CP. CP is $50 an hour.
Absolutely.
Acha, that's interesting. And this is any size of aircraft, and not just the smaller ones. Any size of aircraft.
So the size, the smaller size. So they charge say 2.5 rupees per ton. Okay. Usually these aircraft are just 1 ton. Okay. An Airbus or any yard will be around say 28 tons or more.
Right.
So the landing fees, the parking fees is decided as per the big aircraft, but they per ton. So for smaller aircraft, it's negligible, right? Usually the aircraft that we sell will go 1,400 kilometers without the need for refueling.
And one, what's the fuel tank like capacity?
Say 200 liters.
200 liters. And this is normal car fuel that it can take in.
Car fuel. So what we say, it goes 10 kilometers to a liter at the speed of 250 kilometers an hour. No automobile can do that. If you were to drive your car at 250 kilometers an hour, it will not return you an average of 10 kilometers an hour for sure.
Right. And
10 kilometers per liter. Yeah.
Are you giving me figures of the aircraft that you own, or is this one of the aircrafts from TechNam? I wanted to know more about the one that you own as well, which we can see in the visuals.
This is the one that is 10 rupees a liter. 10 kilometers a liter. The other one, the 2-seater and the 4-seater, actually the single engine are actually more fuel efficient.
Okay.
They'll probably go 14 to 15 kilometers to a liter. Another good thing about these planes is that when a company buys it, they can claim about 40% depreciation year on year, okay, for tax purposes. Right. So in about 4 to 5 years, your investment in the aircraft is actually recovered, or you can depreciate the aircraft to within 4 to 5 years. I mean, that's the reason people buy luxury cars, right?
Right.
Business houses buy luxury cars mostly for tax purposes.
So I wanted to ask, the aircraft that you own or the aircraft that you fly most often, tell us a little bit more about that. What kind of features does it have?
Yeah, two screens in the cockpit which basically give you your flight parameters which are needed to fly the aircraft, and also the navigational database. So we see like this, the plane might just be flying from A to B, but actually there are highways inside the sky, okay, that need to be followed. Okay.
All right.
So those highways need to be recognized by the aircraft, and that's how the instrumentation works. The aircraft pretty much does everything on its own.
Right.
You can sit like a passenger. That's the level of automation in the aircraft. On this kind of aircraft, you want to be looking outside rather than inside, right, because the view outside is beautiful. I mean, you don't fly at 37,000 feet on these planes. You fly at 5,000 feet. Okay. At 5,000 feet, the world looks beautiful. You can actually see things. Okay. So in my personal experience, I never look inside. I'm always looking outside. That being said, I mean, the aircrafts are equipped with really high quality noise cancellation features.
Right.
You can attach your iPod, whatever. You can watch a movie on it on the same screen. I mean, those are endless possibilities. You want to put a icebox cooler, whatever you want.
Right.
is there.
So, like, okay, fine. 250 kilometers would probably be somewhere between Delhi and Jaipur. So, it would take close to about 40 minutes to travel that
40
way.
minutes.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
How much would it cost exactly to go on a personal, in this personal aircraft?
So, I mean, if you were to own the plane, you were just paying for the fuel and for the landing in the parking charge. So for 1 hour, your fuel bill is going to be 30 liters,
Right.
Say 80 rupees a liter, 2,500 rupees.
And landing charge is 65 and parking is 2.5 rupees an hour.
And you have 2 hours free.
It's cheaper, probably cheaper than driving down to Jaipur there, and much faster.
Absolutely. And faster and less fatigue, less danger. People have money in this country. The only problem is that they are apprehensive of ownership of an aircraft. They don't know where to buy one. They don't know. They think it's really expensive. In fact, we have made our own airfield in Gurgaon.
Right.
Okay. So people can have private access to that. You don't have to go to IGI. You can just drive in to your personal airfield. We have made hangars there. You can park your aircraft. Right. We give you pilots. I mean, if you don't know how to fly, it's fine. We give you pilots on daily basis, hourly basis, anything that you want, permanent basis.
How much do the pilots charge? If we could have a rate on that.
1,500 rupees an hour.
Oh wow. Okay, right.
So I mean, if you say it's just like if you had your own plane, it would cost you between 4,000 to 5,000 rupees to go from Delhi to Jaipur. I think with the kind of pandemic that we are in, people would say like, why should I risk myself going in an airline, and why not take a air taxi or a small aircraft?
Going further, what do you feel is like the future of aviation here? Of course, everyone can't afford, to have a personal aircraft, but the ones who can afford, the ones who can't afford, what do you feel? How do you think people are going to be flying? Is it going to be एक seat छोड़ के एक seat पे बैठे होंगे? Like, how is social distancing going to be maintained? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, that is never going to be a solution. I mean, you cannot have an airline function with just 30%, 60% capacity. If you remove one of the middle rows, you're losing a lot and then it's going to become unaffordable for people to travel. Right. So I really don't know how this is going to go, how it's going to pan out till the time we don't have a vaccine. I don't know how the economy is going to be. Airlines are going to survive. It's going to be very difficult. But we've been working on the air taxi project for the last 4 years, whereby we've been thinking about only short distance travel, where we keep 4-seaters and 9-seater planes. So people just arrive 10 minutes before their departure time. They sit in the plane and they go.
Perfect. Nice talking to you, Varun. I think we'll wrap it up here.
Great talking to you, Shiva.
Same here. Yeah. See you, Varun.
Take care.
Bye. तो भाई किसी ने शायद ही सोचा होगा कि प्लेन में ट्रैवल करना एक्चुअली गाड़ी से भी सस्ता हो सकता है. अगर दिल्ली से जयपुर जाने में लगभग मैं बताऊं आपको 2,000 रुपए का जो पेट्रोल है वो लग ही जाता है. और अगर वो 2,000-2,500 रुपए के फ्यूल में आप अगर उड़ के जयपुर पहुंच सकते हो, पार्किंग चार्ज 2.5 रुपए घंटा, तो मैं सुन के अभी तक सोच ही रहा हूँ. हाँ ठीक है, फ्लाइट जो है वो आपको एयरप्लेन खरीदने में जो पैसे लगेंगे वो डेफिनेटली लगेंगे, बट ये सारी चीजें डेफिनेटली किसी ने नहीं सोची हो. सो आई थिंक पर्सनल एयरक्राफ्ट आने वाले टाइम में काफी दिखने वाले हैं. बाकी लेट्स सी एज एंड व्हेन वी गेट अ चांस, हम लोग आपको बताएंगे कि ये पर्सनल एयरक्राफ्ट अंदर से कैसे होते हैं. बाकी सारी चीजों के लिए stay tuned. We'll be getting you all the updates on tech.